our house burned down. And 3 weeks earlier, he had forgotten to pay the fire insurance. And as we're looking at what's left of our house, which is basically nothing, so we've lost everything. And he realizes we have no fire insurance either. And he says, well, kids, now we're free. And that, honestly, I think that was a good lesson in his optimism and his belief that we would just bounce back. And actually, we were free. We lived in a mining town in the north, very snow 10 months of the year. And when that happened, we were free to go anywhere.
Which is fantastic. How do you describe his personality? What was it like? Was he very boisterous? Was he always somebody that was he not satisfied? Was he always looking for the next thing? What was his personality like around the family?
You know, he really wanted to be a somebody. He
Yeah.
wanted to count. And so all of the schemes were trying to make his mark in life, but they were all kind of either researched badly or they weren't really set up to do what he wanted them to do, but he wanted to make his mark in life. He was optimistic. He was almost never brought down. And every failure was like something great was going to happen. It was all going to be okay. And that really was a good thing to grow up. But like, for example, one idea he had, one business idea, and it kind of was a good idea. It made sense. He figured that city dwellers would like a good fertilizer. There's nothing better than horse manure, but who wants a bag of horse manure in the city? So he got this idea to bottle horse manure. So he found a way to get a farmer's runoff through the manure pile to keep collected in vats, and he bottled it up tight and he put on these labels, Dax Liquid Gold. He sold it. It was really very good fertilizer. It was a hit. It was all through the nurseries and the garden centers. It was on shelves everywhere. But he hadn't done his research, and he didn't realize that in those bottles, they were basically cocktails of methane gas that had nowhere to go. And so as the sunlight hit the bottles, they were growing and growing and growing. And all about the same time, they all started exploding on store shelves everywhere.
That's amazing.
That's the way my dad's businesses tended to go. So
let's give it a shot and see what happens, right? Basically, you talk about everything about business stability, basic parenting, but the love for his kids was evident, right? He didn't always know.
Mhm.
And again, your mom wasn't there, so half of the situation wasn't there to assist. So he had to take all of this on, and you sort of watched out for your brother as best as you could, I guess, Brad, as well.
I mostly watched out for my dad. I feel guilty that I didn't watch out more for my little brother. My dad and I were like two tornadoes ripping through the house. And my little brother, I think he got a bit lost in that. But certainly I felt like I had to be the adult in the room with my dad, just to keep those crazy schemes under control as much as I could.
And your brother, did your brother suffer from like some sort of a bronchitis, a bronchial situation?
Yeah, kids don't, like, they might not cry. I don't think either one of us cried when our mom left, but we had long-term effects. I think my effects were more like I just needed to control situations so no one would abandon me anymore. And I ended up with abandonment issues. But my brother at the time, he had asthma, he had bronchitis, he had really painful psoriasis, and all of that was, I think, I'm not a doctor, but I think all of that was to do with being left at the age of 5 by his mom.
Yeah, and the understanding of that, and but your dad again had a loving
Mm.
spirit. Look at this cool shot. Oh my God,
Yeah.
that's like a
No,
Hallmark card.
he was super loving. He was super happy to be a dad. That's all he used to say all the time. You kids are the best thing I ever did.